Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Daisy, and I'm here to take you on a growth journey. So, I started this channel just to talk about my personal growth experience and to help you, to inspire you to grow along with me. So, let's grow together. Today, we're going to be talking about self reflection and what it means to have a self reflection episode and why it's so important, and my 7 tips to have a successful self reflection episode. So let's dive into it. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button, click like, share, and let's begin our journey together. So, what is self reflection? Well, basically, self reflection is the process of intentionally, and thoughtfully examining your own thoughts, your feelings, your behaviors, your experiences, all to get a deeper understanding of who you are, and where you are going, where you're coming from, and where you are going. You see, self reflection involves looking inwards to your thoughts, your actions, your expectations, your experiences, and then assessing the reasons you did what you did, and to chart a course for your life. Now, self-reflection is so important. It is so important, everybody, and really it's something that should be done regularly. I have regular self-reflection episodes. I program myself to do it 4 times a year, that is quarterly, and I will show you how I go about it. But first, let me tell you why I believe self-reflection is very important. So, why do I feel self-reflection is so important? Number one, self-reflection gives you clarity and focus. Clarity, you see where you're coming from. Focus, you know where you're going. Number two, self-reflection helps you to make the best decisions for your life. Because once you know where you're coming from and you know what you're focused on, you'll be able to make the kind of decisions that will take you from point A to point B. The third reason why I think self reflection is so important is that it helps you to understand your emotional side. So it helps develop your emotional intelligence because you get a better handle on your emotions, on the things that trigger your emotions, and you will have a better handle on it, and you will know how to use it to push yourself to achieve the goals that you have set for yourself. And finally, for me, one of the most important reasons for self-reflection is that it helps you to build better relationships, because once you know yourself, you will be able to make the right kind of choices for yourself. Yeah, you'll be able to pick a better partner, you'll be able to pick better friends, you'll be able to become a better partner and a better friend, and your relationships will blossom simply because you took time out to get to know yourself. So these are the 4 reasons I think self-reflection is very, very, very important. So here are my 7 tips to having a successful self-reflection episode. Tip number 1: self reflection is best done in solitude, complete and total solitude. You cannot reflect on your inner environment when you're surrounded by noise everywhere. By noise, I mean people interfering, your family interference, the job, your phone, social media. All that is external interference. You have to take yourself physically away from anything and everything that would distract you from the task you have at hand, which is to focus on yourself at that moment. So, my very first tip is that you isolate yourself. So, self reflection is best done in isolation. My next tip number 2, is that you document the process. I cannot stress this enough. There's a saying where I'm from that the dullest pencil is better than the sharpest brain, because what you have written down, you will remember. But most times we don't remember all the thoughts that crosses through our head. Sometimes we don't even remember what we said. So always document the process. I prefer the traditional method, pen and a diary, and you get your documentation done, because there is a temptation of social media if you're using your phone. My third tip of the day is to start your episode with quiet prayers or meditation. The time you set aside for self reflection is not the time you muddy your internal environment. Just as you have isolated yourself from the external noise, you must isolate yourself from the internal noise. And how do you do that? Heal the internal environment through quiet prayers, quiet worship, or just meditation. Just sit, relax, enjoy nature, enjoy silence, enjoy peace, and let your internal environment become peaceful, become calm, so that you can hear clearly and you'll be able to know what to do. My fourth tip is that you begin by searching your internal environment. What do I mean by your internal environment? Your thoughts, your memory, your imagination, your everything that has to do with your soul. Everything that has to do with your soul. You examine it, you put it on that. Am I thinking the way I am supposed to think in order for me to achieve my set purposes in life? Let us assume that one of your goals this year was to lose 12 kgs. I'll keep using that simply because that is one of my goals this year is to lose 12 kgs. Okay, so is my internal environment conforming to that goal? Do I have the mentality of a warrior, willing to do what needs to be done in order for me to achieve that goal? Or am I just slurping on coke and saying, oh, God will do it? We call it spiritual bypassing. We'll talk about that in a later video. So do I just leave things to chance, or have I made up my mind to take the bull by the horn and do what needs to be done? You need to search your soul to see if your thoughts, if your emotions are in line with the things you claim you desire in life. Those are your core values. And after searching your soul, you have to examine your actions. Are your actions in line with your thought process? Do you think one way and then act another way? You will not make any headway. You won't make any positive results. Your thought process, your thoughts, your emotions must align with your actions. So, with our example of losing 12 kgs, what action steps would I take? Have I cut down carbs? Have I cut down on sugary sodas? Have I stopped eating cake every day? Have I started working out? Do I do this? Do I do that? I examine my actions to see if I am working in accordance with my core values, in accordance with my goals, or if I am just deceiving myself. My sixth tip is that you examine your expectations. There are some times that some of the expectations we have are so far out there that they may be impossible to accomplish in a year or 2 years or in a few months as the case may be. What are your expectations? Are they in line with your core values? Are your thoughts and your actions in line with your expectations? So coming back to my goal of losing 12 kgs, my expectation is 12 kgs. It is a realistic expectation, losing 1 kg a month until my thought process, I have the right internal environment, and my actions are actually in line with my expectations. So, yes, self reflecting on weight loss, I think I am on the right track. Are you on the right track in your own journey through life? And my seventh tip of the day is turn your resolutions into goals. You've examined your thoughts, you've examined your emotions, you've examined your actions. Now, write down your goals. You have resolved, okay, I am on track to lose 12 kgs this year. And my goals still stand. I listed them out. My goal is to lose 1 kg, to shed 1 kg a month, which is extremely, extremely, extremely reasonable, and it is doable. Every 2 weeks I get on my scale, I say I've lost half a kg. I know I am on track. So I have turned my resolutions into goals. I am working the process, and I strongly believe that at the end of the year, I would have a trimmer, fitter, healthier me. So are you turning your resolutions into goals? If you haven't done that, you should just pick up your pen, the paper. I'm very old fashioned. Pen and paper, guys, and turn your resolution into goals. So, yeah. So those are my 7 tips. 7 tips to have a successful self-reflection episode. And if it's not something you've been doing, why don't you start today? And in the next 3 months, you go back to your journal and you discover if you're on track or if you have fallen by the wayside. And I pray that the good Lord will give you the grace, the strength, and everything that you need in order for you to grow into the person that you were created to be. Thank you very much for staying to the end. If you still haven't subscribed, click on that button right now. Yeah, do it right now. Just subscribe and like, and I'll see you in the next video. Shalom.